We first make our habits and then our habits make us. Welcome to another episode of Monday Motivation with me, your host, Marcus. On today's episode, we're going to talk about how our habits help us to see clearly into the future with exceptional clarity and why it's more important to get rid of bad habits than it is to cultivate good ones. After self-love and who you hang around, your habits, more so than just about anything, determine how your life ultimately plays out. When I was a kid, I used to shoot baskets on this goal we had in my driveway. My mom would oftentimes come up to me and say, hey, practice makes perfect. Now, whether or not that phrase is true, let's add an addendum to that says practice makes permanent. Whatever we do on a daily basis ends up forging our character and turns into the people that we are and cultivating habits that end up translating into our life. For example, when I worked at this company before moving out to Seattle, there was a guy who worked in the compliance department. His name was Joe. He was a lawyer. He was always saying funny jokes. He was known as a funny guy in the office. And whenever people would say Joe's name, Joe from compliance, they would think, oh, the jokester. Now, there's a lot of situations like this in life. If you're the guy or gal who's known for saying interesting or thought-provoking things, you're going to be known as, oh, Jason, the guy who's thought-provoking, or Danielle, the chick who's always saying interesting things. I say all this to say is that our repetitions become our reputation, all right? Our repetitions become our reputation. What we do all the time ends up shaping how other people view us, and how other people view us is how we usually view ourselves. Now, how does this relate to success, you might be asking? As I've said before, if we're going to be successful, we've got to cultivate successful habits. And in a previous video, I talked about how successful people, they read 30 minutes or more of nonfiction success-oriented material on a daily basis. And another cool habit I found about people who are successful, financially successful, is that they seek discomfort. They seek pain, they seek hard situations, they seek problems. And I know that's interesting thing to think about now. If we're going to be successful, we got to cultivate successful habits, all right? Now, let me ask you right now, what kind of habits do you have? Are they good or bad? I'm not here to judge, but just a rhetorical question. What kind of habits do you have? It may be a good question to ask ourselves. Do the habits I have today, are they on par with the dreams that I have for tomorrow? All of us have dreams and goals, but if you look around, a lot of us don't achieve them. A lot of it has to do with our habits. And this is what John Maxwell said, the famous author. He said, you will never change your life until you change something that you do on a daily basis, all right? Success is found in your day-to-day. Matt Ryan, the Atlanta Falcons quarterback who's successful by any measure, they didn't have a good year this year, but he said success is found in the struggle. It's found in the everyday struggle of just, trying to get to a new, better, higher plane in life. And so, now I want to flip the coin a little bit, flip the script. Let's talk about bad habits for a little bit. A lot of us can think of people or situations we've seen where there's bad habits, like, for example, alcoholism or being addicted to drugs. It doesn't have to be that extreme. Or even things like comparing ourselves to people who have lives that are just, totally different from us. And I'll tell you something, as I said before, like virtue leads to wealth. Virtue leads to success. Being good, doing the things we need to do leads to success. So vice, sin, things that are not going to help us, these weaknesses are going to lead to a life of misery that we don't want. That's why it's so important to get rid of our bad habits. Our strengths will only take us as far as our weaknesses will allow. That's a cool quote to remember. Our strengths will only take us as far as our weaknesses will allow. So it's better to have habits that we hate and give us the effect that we love than it is to have habits that we love that give us an effect that we hate. And this happens for a lot of us. Oh man, I spend so much time on YouTube. I love it, but it's cutting time for me on spending on time. It's cutting out time I could be spending on goals I have. So it's just, something to really think about, because our life is our habits. Now, in closing, all of us have good habits. All of us have bad habits. But if we're serious about getting a life of material prosperity and just a joyful life, we're going to have to take a nice hard look at our habits and ask ourselves. And really, we shouldn't even form a habit without looking to the future and seeing the long-term consequences of our habit, Just thinking, where is this habit going to take me 10, 20, 30 years from now? I know a lot of us, myself included, we fall prey to things that feel good in the short term, But if you look 30 years from now, if we do that all the time, it's not going to take us to the life that we want. Because I've learned in my life that short-term feel good is often long-term bad. I'm going to say that again. Short-term feel good is often long-term bad. So let's think about this off on this Monday, and I'll leave you with this. As you're at work today, what kind of habits are you cultivating? What kind of work habits do you have? It's okay if they're not perfect, but we've all got areas to improve. But if those habits stay the same, how will your life end up playing out? Remember, we first make our habits, and then our habits make us. So we can choose what our habits are going to be. Are we going to have successful habits or bad habits? And every day, this is a choice that we make. So in closing, if you enjoy this video, please share with your friends and family. I post videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. And as always, unsuccessful people make decisions based on their current situations, and successful people make decisions based on where they want to be. Make decisions based on where you want to be. Cultivate good habits that are going to help you move forward, even if you hate the habit. It's better to hate the habit and love the effect it has on you than to love the habit and hate the effect it has on you, okay? It's better to hate the habit and love the effect it has on you than it is to love the habit and hate the effect it has on you. Think about that. I know it's thought-provoking. Okay, bye.